Hi, Author Magazine. This is John Richmond in Dubai.
What does punk mean for you?
Punk is a thing. Is not music. Punk is an attitude. It's like, I can do that. That's all it is. I can do that. Sometimes we're told we can't, but punk is like, I can.
Your career began when fashion, music, and street culture collided naturally before culture became a marketing term. What did that era understand about authenticity that the industry risks losing today?
I think, the industry is just changing. The world changes. We've had a revolution, a technical revolution over such a short period of time. And I think people's heads are still spinning, so we'll find ourselves shortly, I'm sure.
You've worked across decades of shifting aesthetics. Do you design by reacting to the present moment or by protecting a personal language regardless of trends?
I think you can't help to soak in what's going on in the world that you're in. Of course, you have this DNA which is always with you, and it's using that plus whatever new things you soak up and influences of the world.
Okay, amazing. Subculture once lived in opposition to the system. Now the system absorbs everything. Does that change how rebellion looks in fashion?
Yeah, I think it's changed very much. This whole subcultures has been appropriated by many designers and almost used as just a marketing tool. I hope I'm still true to my, thinking or being, and when I use subcultures, it's in an honest way.
And you've designed for people whose image was already iconic. When personality is that strong, what does a designer actually add?
Yeah, I've worked with some, big names. Sometimes you just have to forget who they are and just think of them and what you can do for them. And rather than, it's not like designing for them per se. It's designing in your way, but an intelligent way to suit them. Because these people are not models. They're not. It's different. Being on stage is a different thing.
Okay, amazing. Early in your career, fashion felt dangerous and unpredictable. What feels at stake in fashion now, if anything?
I think fashion has become much broader now. Brands are becoming. It's not just about dresses and shoes and bags. It's about all the other things. It's lifestyle. So, like one of the reasons we're here in Dubai is because we have, big ventures in Dubai coming in the next couple of years. So it's important, and I actually really enjoy, doing furniture and doing all these other things. So,
okay. Looking back, was there a period in your work that felt misunderstood at the time, but makes more sense today?
Yeah, especially in the early 90s, because I had a hard time with the press because they just thought I was this sort of, rock and roll music inspired designer and not an honest designer. It's like, but then the world changed and everyone became a rock and roll designer.
Longevity in fashion can dilute a voice or refine it. What did you have to unlearn over the years to stay sharp?
I don't try to stay sharp. I just try to be, first of all, entertain myself. I tell people, I have a great job because I go to work tomorrow and I get a clean sheet of paper and I draw or think It's so nice to start the day with clean sheets of paper. Most people go to work and do the same thing. I'm constantly moving.
Many designers talk about legacy. Few confront the weight of it. Does having a history ever feel like pressure when creating something new?
No, No, because I don't tend to look back at things. It's not, this show that we're doing in Dubai was the first time I've really looked at the archive and thought about putting the show together in that way, because it seemed very relevant. You know, there's such an interest in vintage. People, you know, there's vintage sites, and you know, people are more. It's a label within itself now. So I don't feel the pressure of that, because you know, being a Capricorn, you know, you have a hill, and you just look to the top of the hill, and you don't look back. I mean, I'm not interested in what I did. I'm interested in what I'm going to do.
Okay, your work has always lived between polish and rawness. Is that tension still essential to how you design, or has your relationship with refinement changed?
No, I think you always need tension. You know, it's just necessary. If there's no tension, if it's easy, you know, if you don't, you need to be in a place where you don't feel safe. It's like going out into the water, you know, and then you make yourself safe, and then.
After 4 decades, do you design more from instinct or from knowledge?
Both. You know, both. You know, it's instinctive, and it's knowledge, and it's inspired what's going on around.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.